This is the body language analysis of those videos, or that video leaked of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. So for some of you who are not familiar with this scandal, there has been all these lawsuits of sexual harassment from Blake Lively to Baldoni, and then Baldoni sued back not only her but also Ryan Reynolds, her husband as well, of all these crazy allegations. We still don't know who is, in the right in here, but this video was released by Baldoni's attorneys to prove that there was no sexual harassment or anything of the sort on set. And why is this video so important? This video is so important because this is like an extra cut, that has a number. That has a name, like something that did not make the cut, okay? The final, in the film that they were making, and they were speaking to each other. They were talking about the scene, and you can see that, well, you're about to see that their body language. You say if there was some kind of friction between them, if she wasn't comfortable because he was making this kind of advances, then we would see it here, because we are going to see not part of the film itself, but a candid video that exposes, from Baldoni's point of view, that he was doing nothing wrong. And Blake Lively, I'm kind of spoiling a bit what you're about to see, she looked quite comfortable. I'm going to mute. This has some copyrighted music, so I'm going to mute this just to focus on them. So for those of you who want the TLDR summary of this, imagine that she sued the guy for sexual harassment on set, and all of a sudden you have, I don't know how long is this, it's like 2 minutes long. It's like, yeah, it's a bit long. It's like 2 minutes long. A clip, like behind the scenes, that is the word, behind the scenes clip, in which you can see them interacting. As he was the director of the movie, she was suggesting some things to that take. Was them dancing to slow music, getting all romantic. And then you can judge for yourself about her body language and his body language if she was feeling uncomfortable about his advances. So the assistant director, you're going to see the captions here of who's talking. This is the assistant director. None of them is talking. I'm going to play this in slow motion. And you see how she is looking at him. Okay? You see that her face is relaxed. Of course, she has to act the scene. They have to act the scene. There was no dialogue in there. The dialogue was not going to be heard. But, of course, it's the words that they say have to do with their mood at the time, even if they were acting, because what they are saying at that moment has to do with the scene itself. Like, it's a bit complicated. It's like they're being filmed for the movie, but they were talking about the production of the movie. It's like you were not going to listen to that dialogue in the final cut of the movie. That dialogue was not meant to be heard. So that is important to see. What were they saying? And okay, she was acting, but what she says and what he says, he said that it's not that they were exactly uncomfortable with each other. So we keep doing this. She looks at his mouth, and that is a classic display of attraction when somebody looks at your mouth. They are doing this, and Justin says, "No, I know. I just got lost." And then Blake says, I think it's nice to talk. It's nice to talk in the sense that it's nice to talk through the scene. So I can play this. It plays this in real time. And they are talking about the scene while they're being filmed. They have, of course, an assistant director who has to keep track of what is going on with the camera and what is going on with the mood of the scene. And they are discussing what is the scene is about. But this is the thing. My first impression when I saw this is that, okay, this must be part of the movie, right? Because she doesn't look uncomfortable at all. But it so happens that this is a candid shot into what was really going behind the scenes. And this is not good for Blake Lively and her allegations that she was being sexually harassed by Baldoni. So we move on, we move forward, because when you're like, what are they saying? And well, we have no issue talking most of the time. They are just talking like if they have no issues with one another. Yeah, they'll never know in slow motion. I must know what they're saying. It's like I remember one in Venezuela. We have quite some soap operas, and I remember an anecdote that one of the this actor said that it was a kissing scene, and they were kissing, in the soap opera, in the scene they were filming, and there was meant to but no dialogue, right, at that scene, and he began to hum a romantic song as they were kissing, and the actress was trying to contain the laughter during that take. It was so fun to they were having a good time besides the kiss, I guess. But that is the kind of things that you get. That is the kind of anecdotes that you get when people are getting along on a set filming. Okay, there's chemistry. They're having, let's say, a good time, even if you're acting, even if the feelings are not real. At least you cannot fake that chemistry. You cannot fake that chemistry. That's why you make this screen tests or casting tests. I don't remember. And that you put, for example, you're casting for a couple in a movie. You cast the guy, you cast the girl, and you have to see them read their lines and how they look together with each other, if it makes sense. Okay, if you look at them, okay, yeah, those absolutely would be a couple in real life. You have to feel that. Okay? We have talked about that in my members only live streams, how an image or a video has to have the right mood to fit. And in this case, it's not only that they fit in the sense of like an actor and an actress, but there's the chemistry. And looking at this behind the scenes, I'm going to play it. I just play it. See that they are talking about the production itself, and she's even laughing and gesturing. And you would see the first thing that I would look for. The first thing that I would look for is instances in which she brings her head back, like she doesn't want to be near him, even if she has to act like she's enjoying. There are moments, in fact, that he says, "Cut," and they're not filming for the movie, and she stays relaxed. She's still relaxed, and you see that she's got. If she was feeling uncomfortable, then she needs an Oscar, because she's got all these gestures, like those relaxed eyelids, that biting of the lip, the way that she puts her hand on his chest. If she was acting, boy, she needs an Oscar. She needs an Academy Award, because that is so hard to fake. It was so natural. And they were even, you're going to see that they were going to be joking about his nose, his big nose. And you see also all these signals that she's looking at him, and she tilts her head and flutters her eyelids, and all the signals. And again, they're talking and they are joking about the scene itself. You see, okay, all the action, I feel so nosy. They begin to joke, okay, this cannot go into the movie itself, because he jokes, "I feel so nosy." No, this is Blake Lively. She says, "I feel so nosy." I mean, it's like just noses, like your nose is too big. She is playful, telling him your nose is too big. And he says, "I know, and my nose is too big." You know that is not going to be in the movie. Like when you have bloopers, right? But if you're uncomfortable, if the guy is creepy with you, has been creepy with you, and this is like a blooper, you don't have to be acting. You can be like, wow, you can just drop your acting instantly, and that is not happening here. That is not happening here. I don't see any of that. They keep on the joke, and you see her gestures and everything, and she still looks like a woman really in love. There's so many theories about this. Theories about this. See, he says cut. Look at this. Look at this. He says cut. There's the word. He says cut. What does it mean? They are not filming anymore after he says cut. He gestures with his left hand. Cut. And what happens? That's the thing that you have to look for. Is there any change in her body language? You notice that she's still looking at him. She's still smiling. And there was no drop. There was no change. There was nothing whatsoever. Like I'm acting, and the moment that you say cut, I'm going to change my face because I cannot stand you. Nothing of the sort. Nothing of that is happening here. So I don't see how Blake Lively's lawsuit can survive this. Okay, they are acting right now. This is the acting. Okay, Justin jokes saying, "Am I getting bird on you today?" And they begin to laugh. They're laughing. Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup. Again, if she had a problem with him, yeah, smitten, that is smitten look. Like she's absolutely lost in his eyes. Again, if this is acting, this is very good acting. It's impeccable acting. So they continue. They go in for the kiss. I mean, this scene was really romantic. And you see that the assistant director was saying that it was enough. I think we got plenty. It's like Justin is the director. Him is saying we got enough takes of us dancing in here. So it's like an informal cut, and you see that her face. You see her face. You don't see like she has been forced to do this. She doesn't look like she's forced to be doing all this. Not in the least. She looks like she's enjoying herself. She's enjoying herself. She even looks at him again after he says, "Okay, we are done for today." Even she's rolling her eyes, but I think that it was more like a playful thing than anything else. I mean, this looks very bad for Blake Lively. This looks very bad for her. Because if this is true, what is the situation? This was released by TMZ, and Justin Baldoni claims that no signs of sexual harassment here. Raw. It ends with us scene. And being raw, it means that there was no editing. Justin Baldoni is staying on the offensive, attempting to shoot down Blake Lively's allegation he sexually harassed her by releasing raw video from It Ends With Us that reveals some very telling conversation between the co-stars. Not only the conversation, but the body language. That's what I told you. And it's always important to combine both body language with what people are talking and the circumstances, the context. It's important to understand that, okay, they were filming mute scenes that were not going to have dialogue, and they were joking to each other. Why would you joke with somebody that is sexually harassing you? Baldoni's team dropped nearly 10 minutes of unedited footage, including one scene where Justin and Blake are slow dancing. Blake referenced the scene in her lawsuit against Justin and accused him of getting creepy with comments about the fragrance she was wearing. So she mentioned this scene in her lawsuit. In her lawsuit, she mentioned this, and he's counterattacking, releasing it. So, well, let's see what people can tell from this. Let's see if the body language guy can say something about this. In the video, which has both actors mic'd up, you don't see Justin making any offensive comments or actions towards Blake. We're told his team believes this completely refutes Blake's sexual harassment claim. That is important. What is interesting about the video is a clear window to the massive creative differences that plagued the movie. You know that Blake Lively wanted to do so many changes herself, and even Ryan Reynolds, which, well, I have to say I admire Ryan Reynolds for bringing Deadpool to the big screen, but he was also meddling with the screenplay, and it was not until the last minute that Justin Baldoni, who is the director of the movie, realized that Ryan Reynolds was meddling with the screenplay, like rewriting scenes, and why would he do that? And it's true that Blake Lively was executive producer, but is the director who has the ultimate say in the creative vision of any production. So, yeah, it was a complete mess. Justin and Blake are speaking to each other throughout the scene, going back and forth about camera angles, lighting, and whether they should be speaking to each other or simply staring into each other's eyes. In the final edit, only the video was used for slow-mo footage. None of their audio was used. And there's a reference to Justin's nose. In his lawsuit, he mentions Blake mocking the size of his nose and saying he should get a nose job. Well, that all plays out in the video, that she jokes, okay, you can get 1 month on insurance and get your surgery on your nose. As they lean in for a kiss, Blake says, I feel so nosy. I mean, it's just like noses. And Justin laughingly responds, I know, and my nose is so big. The recovery continues, and Blake says that they need to shut down production for a month so he can get a nose job. But she does say, just kidding at the end. We'll reach out to Blake's team for their take on the Raw video. I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? But in my opinion, and well, my years of experience, when I saw this, I said, okay, I'm trying to look for all those moments of there could be some kind of friction, reaction that she feels uncomfortable. You see that maybe the shoulders could spring up, that she could bring her head back, that she could look away, that her facial expression could be dropped for a second, especially when he says cut, or the assistant director says that, well, that's enough. But no, it doesn't change at any moment. That she's completely comfortable, that she's comfortable with him. And again, I don't want to feed any of the rumors that are out there regarding this case. I prefer to just have certain takes, certain opinions later on. But as of this video, for this video, it doesn't look like he was being inappropriate with her, and she didn't look uncomfortable with him in the least. But again, I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? And you know that this show is live every weekday, so we have a live chat with it, which is the most legendary chat in the history of humankind.